Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining here at Unapologetically Progressive. Now today we're going to talk about the government shutdown and the 8 Democrats who joined the Republicans to end the government shutdown after 40 plus days of government shutdown. And I want to start this by saying, for the last 11 days, Americans on the SNAP benefit program have gone without food. 42 million Americans. For the last month and 11 days, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of U.S. federal workers have been laid off without pay, with no guarantee that they'll get paid. For the last month and 11 days, people at the TSA, air traffic controllers, and things like that have been working without pay, along with other federal workers that must work even though they're not getting paid because they're considered essential. For the last month and 11 days, this has been going on. These people had the Democrats back, and the Democrats are too much of cowards to stand up for the American people. What happens when liberal leadership is completely feckless and weak? The rise of fascism. It's exactly what happens. The rise of authoritarianism, nationalism. That's what happens in the face of weak liberal leadership. That's how we got Donald Trump in 2024. Weak liberal leadership. And the Democrats prove it once again, that they are cowards and that they are feckless and weak. Once again, the Democratic Party gets the American people behind them and then spits in their face. For the last month and 11 days, millions of Americans have been held hostage by this administration and by the gridlock in Congress. All thinking we were fighting for something better. That we were fighting for people keeping their health care. That we were fighting on money getting put back in the Children's Health Insurance Program and back into Medicaid. But we get nothing. The Democratic Party has taken our support and spit on it and stomped it into the mud. At least 8 Democrats did anyway. Now my question is, where's Chuck Schumer? Where's the rest of the Democratic leadership keeping the party together? They didn't do it because they're useless. Democratic leadership in the Senate and in the House is completely useless. People like Chuck Schumer need to be replaced. People like Hakeem Jeffries will need to be replaced. Because sure, Hakeem Jeffries is in a different chamber altogether, but he wouldn't have helped. He wouldn't keep the Democrats in line either. Now, in the deal, the Democrats were able to secure the promise of a vote. A promise of a vote on ACA subsidies. Almost guaranteed to fail in the Senate. And even if they pass the Senate, they will not even be brought to the floor of the U.S. House by Mike Johnson. And these are the 8 clowns right here that sold you out. That sold the American people out. Those that were supporting them in this government shutdown. Proven by the election last week. During the middle of that government shutdown, we had an election last week. And seats from across the country, in state legislatures and things like that, flipped from red to blue even in deep red Mississippi, 2 state seats and 1 U.S. House of Representatives seat flipped from red to blue. And these clowns spit in the face of every single one of those voters. What is it about the Democratic Party that whenever they have a chance, whenever they get the American people behind them, they cowered out? What's the deal with that? Senator Janine Shaheen of New Hampshire, Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia, where multiple seats in the state legislature were flipped, where the governorship was flipped, where the lieutenant governorship was flipped, where the AG was flipped. Senator Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire, Senator Argus King of Maine, who is an independent who caucuses with the Democrats, Senator Jackie Rosen of Nevada, Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, Senator Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada. Those 8 people sold out the American people. Those 8 people sold out 17 million Americans to the GOP and the cuts to the ACA subsidies. To those people that are on chip, that just lost chip because of the cuts made by Doge earlier this year. Democrats turned their back on them. To those people that are going to lose their Medicaid because of the cuts made to Medicaid, they spit in the face of those people too. The Democrats literally turned their back on the American people. How can the American people ever stand with you if you don't have a backbone to stand with them? The federal workers, the people on SNAP, deserved better. If you were going to get nothing out of this government shutdown, you should have just voted with the clean CR on the first vote, because that's literally what passed. This CR, the only thing added to it was the potential for a vote in the Senate. Let's talk about on the House side of it when it comes up. Say the Senate miraculously passes restoring the subsidies to the ACA in December, like they've said they're going to vote on. Say that vote actually gets past the 60 vote threshold required. Okay. Gets to the House, what's going to happen? Either Mike Lee will just simply not bring it to the floor, or he's going to say, here's the offer. Subsidies for the 17 million Americans that are about to lose their health care because their premiums are about to skyrocket, or you release the Epstein files. That's literally what's going to happen. That is literally what's going to happen. Mike Johnson is going to make that deal. And the Democrats are going to have to pick the ACA subsidies. That's if that vote ever even happens. I do not believe the vote in the Senate will ever happen on the ACA. Because Republicans have Democrats exactly where they want them. The Republicans literally won the government shutdown. They got everything they wanted. Meanwhile, the people that the Democrats were supposedly fighting for get nothing. We lose, sir. So yes, I believe the leadership of the Democratic Party must change. I believe Chuck Schumer is a useless waste of space in the Senate, and he needs to be replaced. Not only as minority leader, but he needs to have a seat primaried, and he needs to be out of office. What's worse is 2 of those people that you see listed here weren't even going to be around. They're retiring at the end of this term. And the other and the other 6 of them don't even have elections coming up soon. I mean, I expected John Fetterman to join the Trump MAGA crowd, because John Fetterman is not a Democrat anymore. John Fetterman is a Republican. He's a MAGA Republican now, all because of October 7th. On October 7th of 2023, he decided that he was no longer going to support progressive causes. He was no longer going to support democratic causes, forgetting that the people that put his ass in that seat were progressives, not the Democratic establishment, progressives. And as much as I don't care for TYT anymore, TYT pushed him into that seat because he said he was a progressive, claimed he supported progressive ideals. And then October 7th happened. He heard somewhere fictitiously that Democrats all over the world, or all over America, were celebrating the deaths of Israeli people. That never happened. Most Democrats, literally all the Democrats that I came across were very upset by what took place in Israel on October 7th, 2023. What we were also upset about, though, was the way Israel responded. Yes, right around 1,000 people were killed by Hamas. Hamas is an evil organization. So is the IDF. They weren't going after the people that caused the deaths of those 1,000 people, right? They were going after innocent civilians that had nothing to do with it. People like John Fetterman celebrated when children were murdered by the IDF while they slept in their beds. When people were calling for an end to the bombardment of Gaza and the slaughter of children, John Fetterman and other people like Mayim Bialik refused to support a ceasefire. So John Fetterman made his bed years ago on October 7th, 2023. He decided he was a MAGA conservative Republican. And to the rest of you, you're just cowards. Absolute cowards. Why would Democrats keep supporting you? Why would liberals keep supporting you? Why would an independent even consider supporting the Democratic Party? Think about it.